And what you find out is things can sit for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and you think that because you're new,
I'm shifting the camera here to your wall right here.
Yeah, because you can see. I even make jokes about this, as you call it, the death pile. But every now
that's no death pile. That's way too pretty to be a death pile.
But anyway,
that's why I didn't have you come over to my place to do this video. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. We did a video a while back about new eBay resellers and some of the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of new eBay resellers. And I decided I'd come back to Chris's house, Patriot Picker, and kind of give you an update on how his new eBay reselling experience has gone over the last few months. So join us and we'll take a look and we'll ask him some questions. All right, y'all, I don't know if you remember Patriot Picker or not, but he's been gracious enough that he let us come back into his house and kind of give us an update on how his eBay reselling has been going. Chris, how long have you been doing this?
Late September of last year, 2019.
Okay, and I think, when was I here last? When did we do that last video? Was it in January?
I think it was at the beginning of the year, yeah.
Beginning of January, okay. And if you guys want to look, you can go back and look at that. I think it's new eBay reseller, like ups and downs or something. I'll put a link in here. And this is kind of going to be a second part to that video. So I just got a couple questions for you today, and we're going to go through, I think there's 4 questions that I wanted to ask you and get your input on to maybe help some new eBay resellers out there who are just getting started on this. So the first one is, can you tell us any of the mistakes that you made, or maybe things you might do a little bit better, or let's just stick with mistakes at this point. Is there anything that you look back on in your first few months that you view as a mistake?
Yeah, when we first started, I was watching a lot of video content, and I was trying to learn as much as I could, and it was overwhelming, everything that you could learn. But the first thing that I started hearing was whether you should do free shipping or whether you should not.
Mm-hmm. And hey, I did a video on that on this channel. Shameless promotion.
Yeah.
Check the how-to videos out.
So I kept hearing a lot of folks say that you should just do everything free shipping, and you would just make up for it in the listing price. But what I found is that it began to start hurting me instead of helping me by doing free shipping.
How's that?
So there would be different places, different states around the country, of course, it costs more to ship. And I was getting a lot of buyers from California, and I would go out and I would pay, a little bit of nothing for an item that I sourced, but then turn around and try to sell it. And the shipping price was just as much as the listing price. And I was thinking I was making profit, but by the time I did the shipping and gave it to them for free, it just turned out to be a bad thing.
Do you do any free shipping at this point?
I do very, very little. Yesterday, I sold something, a medical scrub top, and it was a very, very close local buyer. So I went ahead and did free shipping for them because, it kind of like, as I saw what I was going to end up having to pay first class, it wasn't that big a deal. So I went ahead and did free shipping for that.
So just if you watch that video that I did, I do free shipping on some items, but anything over a pound is, well, that's not entirely true. Almost anything over a pound I don't do free shipping on unless I know what the cost will be. And that stuff comes with time. So I would say for a new seller, I think you're on the safe side to not do free shipping. As you get better and you know more and more about shipping and know the different ways you can control your costs, and you'll know the maximum amount it'll cost to ship X, Y, or Z, and I think you can open up a few items to free shipping. But as a rule, you're never going to go wrong necessarily doing calculated shipping. So, all right. Anything else you want to add to big mistakes that you might have made? Tell us everything.
I about a lot, but I'll try to keep it at a minimum. Another thing that I felt like that I kind of got steered a little wrong on was you didn't realize that actively listing on a daily basis does have an impact on your sales. I was under the impression early on that you could list a few items and wait for a couple of months and see what happens. And what you find out is things can sit for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and you think that because you're new,
I'm shifting the camera here to your wall right here.
Yeah, because you can see. I even make jokes about this, as you call it, the death pile. But every now
that's no death pile. That's way too pretty to be a death pile.
But anyway,
that's why I didn't have you come over to my place to do this video.
Now we know. But anyway, that's another thing that I think is important, just for people to understand that if you're going to start off new doing this, that don't believe that you can actively list daily, and it actually helps.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. No doubt. And for a lot of reasons, but mainly the more you list, the more you sell.
Right.
And you're not so concerned about the thing you listed 5 months ago that hasn't sold, because you are selling things. So it's kind of a psychological thing as well.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, I mean, I think that, sometimes people are transitioning. When you become a part-time seller, you're transitioning. Maybe you have a full-time job and you're just doing it part-time. But what I have learned is this is a full-time job. It doesn't matter if you call it one or not. If you really do it the way you should and put the kind of time into it, it is a full-time job. Okay. And I don't want to call it part-time because I work full-time at it.
Gotcha. All right, question 2 for you is, a lot of times people have this misconception of eBay and what it can do for you, and those are put out there by people that you would see, maybe even on YouTube, and maybe people who do it, who, this is how great it is. People that enjoy eBay and make a lot of money, they like to tell people what they do. They like to help other people, but sometimes you don't get the whole story. Are there any misconceptions that you would like to talk about and tell some new eBayers about?
It's funny you ask that, because on my channel, I get a lot of questions from folks that are hesitating to join the e-commerce world. And they're asking questions like, it sounds like to me that it's too challenging, it's too difficult. What I have found is it's not as difficult as it might seem. There's some learning curves with technology on the computer and learning how to navigate your way around eBay itself. But once you figure out how to list an item and you figure out how to learn to research what an item is going for on eBay, and you come up with your own price, it's not as difficult. And that's the misconception I had early on, is I thought it was overwhelming.
Okay.
That it was going to really cost me a lot of time and effort, and I really wasn't going to sell much at all.
So that wasn't what I was thinking, but that's an interesting insight into it. I'm a teacher, so anytime they roll out something new that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do this and whatever. And then once you figure it out, it's not all that bad. But that's me. And I don't like change. So if I can do this and I can learn how to do this, I know that other people can, because that's my natural inclination. Yeah. So any other misconceptions you want to talk about?
I would say that the reward of doing it was something that I still today keep saying I kick myself for not starting this earlier.
Right.
If I had known what I know now in the short period since September of last year doing this, that you could do what we're doing and sell items the way we're selling them for prices that are just unbelievable sometimes, and that you can go out into the community and find items at really, really low prices that you can turn around and flip for like $60, $70, $80. It just blew my mind. And as soon as I saw that you could do that, it was like I was addicted. And that's awesome. I love doing it. It's a joy. It's like every day you go to your job, you love what you do.
Okay. Awesome. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, next question is about changes. So you started in September of 2019. Is there anything specifically that you've changed, that you were doing one way and now you're doing a different way, besides the shipping that you already talked about?
I would probably say my whole view on sourcing has changed.
Okay.
As a new reseller, you're trying to focus on every single thing that you can, try to find the flip. But what you start learning is that you start becoming more knowledgeable about certain items. And so what's happened over time is I've started realizing that I sort of kind of have this spidey sense that when I go in, I see something specific. Like, for example, I never in the world, I was telling my wife this the other day, I never in the world would have pictured myself going and looking for women's pocketbooks. But some reason, and I have never done any extensive research on it, But some reason I walk into a thrift store, and if I see a certain kind of a pocketbook, I'm just drawn to it, and it just like reaches out to me and says, "You should look at this."
If something works for you, you tend to go back to the same well, right?
Yeah,
and if something doesn't work, you tend to go away from it, and that just comes with experience for sure.
So sourcing and the categories of which I source in, as the joke goes, you can see my game board pile is pretty intense over there. So we've kind of dropped off of focusing so much on those, and now what we're doing is we're getting a lot more into categories rather than trying to focus on everything.
Okay.
And so that's one thing.
Anything else?
So another thing that I think is important for us that we didn't think about it first. Now we had the idea, but we did not do it, but we have done it recently. We've started entertaining the idea of incorporating our second business that we run from our home, called Two of a Kind Custom Design. You go to my channel, you can see the video about that. And so what we're doing now is we're trying to figure out ways that we can design stuff at our home that we could sell on eBay, and also help other resellers create their own logos and designs as well. So those are some things that we're trying.
All right. Now, even me, and I've been doing this for just about 20 years, I have a list of things that I want to get better at, things that I want to change, and some goals that I have. So what are some things that you have already put in your mind that you're going to make changes for going forward with your eBay business?
Well, the number one thing is, and we were talking a little bit about this earlier, since September to now, we have been in the season of winter, and Goodwill thrift stores have been our main source to go and find items. We have obviously sourced some things off of Marketplace and Craigslist and such, but now that the warmer weather is coming and we can get past this craziness that's going on in the world right now, I'm looking forward to learning more about how to source at yard sales and getting involved in some other consignments. We were even talking about the possibility of reaching out to the community and asking folks that are looking to downsize some things in their home, and we work out a deal where we go and meet with them in their home and work out some kind of consignment. They make a little profit, we make a little profit, and it helps our store. That's one area that I'm looking forward to making a change in as the weather is changing as well. So another thing that we're probably envisioning in the future is, and this might sound kind of a little weird, but I feel that I'm still new. I don't feel like that I've arrived in no place of, I'm obviously not doing this full time. I'm still in a part-time way of doing this, but I'm looking forward to researching more, learning more from other folks like yourself and some of the folks that have been in it for years now. I feel like that the more I go over and start learning from them, I see myself getting better and growing in my business. I don't think that it's going to be just this instantaneous thing. So I'm looking forward to the change. I'm looking forward to being flexible and adapting to things that are going on. And that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Well, thanks for giving us a glimpse into the new eBay seller experience. And if it's okay with you, can we come back in like 3 months and do it again?
Let's do it.
Hopefully by then we'll be past all this stuff and we'll be out and doing some garage sale.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Chris, Patriot Picker.